sir.
Yep. In our final game here, we got the Arizona Cardinals taking out the Philadelphia Eagles 40-17. The Cardinals, they clinched the division title, and Carson Palmer, he looks like an MVP again. Then you got David Johnson running all over the place. I mean, the Eagles, they look pretty much putrid on offense. They really had much not going. But the thing I think really killed Arizona from this game is Tyrann Mathieu tearing his ACL. And I'm not sure why he was in the game still at 40-17 anyway. But Arizona, I do think they have enough talent to where they should be able to weather the storm without Mathieu in their defense, and they've clinched the 2 seed. Your thoughts from this game, and do you think that Arizona would be a viable contender, challenger to Carolina right now at this point, Josh?
I think Arizona is better than Carolina already, actually. And I know that sounds funny to some people, but Arizona's beating good teams while Carolina is only beat 2 teams on their schedule with winning records. So I'm not knocking Carolina because they're a good team, but Arizona to me looks like the more complete team at the end of the day. And Carolina has shown also on defense that you have a good offense. You can put up points on them like New Orleans did, and this past week against the Giants, and I'm sure there's other games that I don't remember off the top of the head where they gave up some yards. So, so the answer is Arizona can definitely challenge Carolina. In fact, I would put Arizona ahead of Carolina in NFC rankings. So.
Well, if those two get together in mid-January, it'd be pretty fun, but I do think the Seattle Seahawks may have something to say or do about that. The NFC playoffs are going to be really, really fun this year, Josh. I really look forward to it, man. There's going to be some kick-ass games out there this year.
Yeah, there'll be some good ones in the NFC for sure.
Yeah, and that was our previews here. So we got about 6 minutes left here, Josh. So I guess we should go ahead and jump right into it here and get to our recaps rather. It's time for us to jump into our previews now for Week 16 here. And I guess we should go ahead and do it more of a lightning round kind of deal here. We got the Chargers and the Raiders here. And the Raiders, they're pretty emotional. Charles Woodson's final game. And Derek Carr, I'm sure he's looking to get these last 2 and see if he can get the Raiders to 8-8. I think San Diego, they'll make it tough for a while, but they already got their big win. They got their emotion out of the way. The Raiders, too much emotion this week. They take down the Chargers 27-17. What you got, Josh?
I like the Raiders to win this game in a close one, actually. I don't think it's going to I think it's going to come down in the end. I think the Raiders will win. It'll be 28-27.
Okay, I'll take that there. All right, our next match takes place in Detroit here between the San Francisco 49ers and the Detroit Lions. The Lions are still playing hard. They knocked off New Orleans last week on Monday Night Football. In San Francisco, Blaine Gabbert doesn't seem to be much of the answer here. I'm sure the 49ers, they'll be looking for a quarterback next season. So with this being said here, get the ball to Sean Brown. That's really all you can do. And the Lions defense, they'll be more than up to the task for that. I say Detroit 27, San Francisco 14. What you got?
Yeah, I mean, this is a tough game because they're both, not very good. I think Detroit's the better team in this one, so 21-13.
Okay. Next up here, we got Cleveland and Kansas City. Johnny Manziel is playing pretty well. I mean, I think he's done enough to at least get another look at for next season as the starting quarterback. But I do think Kansas City, they're on the mission here. And sure, they don't have Justin Houston, and they may not have Tom Bahali this week, but you still got Alex Smith, Charkandrick West, and you got Jeremy Maclin, and that should be more than enough to defeat the Cleveland Browns. So I'll say Chiefs 23, Browns 12. What you got there, Jess?
Chiefs are going to win easily. It's going to be like 35-14.
Okay, we both got Kansas City in that one there. All right, next up here, we got ourselves a huge one actually in the desert. Arizona with a win. They clinched the 2 seed, taking on the Green Bay Packers, who seem to have a lot of injury problems. They actually struggled mightily with the Raiders for 3 quarters before finally putting them away. And I think Aaron Rodgers, I mean, he's doing what he can to keep this team afloat with James Jones and Randall Cobb. But I do think it's going to come down to that run game, and Arizona's defense is going to pretty much stuff Eddie Lacy, and that's pretty much what it's going to come down to. Palmer's going to throw himself a couple of touchdown passes to John Brown, and I'll say Cards 31, Packers 24. What you got, Josh?
I think Green Bay has had issues scoring points for the most part, although I do think it will come down to the end. Arizona 26 and Green Bay 21.
Okay, that's a good one here. And a game that we're pretty much covering just because of the West Coast game, and we kind of have to here. We got Seattle and St. Louis. There's not much to be said from this game. Sure, the Rams, they got themselves 2 wins in a row, and they should be pretty happy with that. Seattle, they're trending towards the playoffs, although I do think the Rams defense can keep it close for a while, like they usually do at Seattle. But in the end, Russell Wilson, he'll find Doug Baldwin. Christine Michael will probably make a few plays. And at the end, I'll say Seahawks 20, Rams 10. What you got, Josh?
I'm taking St. Louis to win this game. Actually. No, seriously. St. Louis is a Seattle killer. I like St. Louis to win this 21-13.
Okay. Finally one where we kind of disagree there. And our final preview of the night here, we got Cincinnati and Denver here. AJ, in the battle of the backups, we got AJ McCarron up here taking on Brock Osweiler. Osweiler, he had himself a dominant first half last week at Pittsburgh, not so much in the second half at Cincinnati. In the second half. And it's kind of the same thing that AJ McCarron had in the first half with the Cincinnati-San Francisco game, although kind of completely different premises, though, because McCarron didn't have to do much in the second half because the Bengals did lead the game 24-0 here. This is going to be a pretty tough one. You're going to have a lot of defense in this one, although I do think that McCarron is a bit better than Osweiler. Cincinnati is a bit better offensively than Denver is, and that may be the difference. Bengals 16, Broncos 13. Josh.
You picked the Bengals? Wow. I'm taking Denver to win 24-16.
No, okay. I had to pick the Broncos, man. They don't call me Raider Rome for nothing.
Wait, so you picked the Broncos? I missed that. Did you take the Bengals?
No, I picked the Bengals.
Oh, okay. All right.
No, I'm saying, of course I went against the Broncos. They don't call me Raider Rome for nothing.
Oh, okay. I thought you said you picked it. Okay, got it. All right, got it.
Nah, we got Cincinnati taking that one there. So
all right.
I guess this wraps up another great show here, Josh. Man, so pretty much now we've been doing this show for almost a whole year now, man, and it gets better and better every week. I couldn't think of a better person to run down with the West Coast with. So I like to say Merry Christmas, man. You're a great co-host. Keep doing what you're doing, and hopefully we can do this for years to come. I mean, it's a fun time every week. Like I said, it's not a show, man. It's like a 1 hour, just pretty much you hang out with one of your best buddies, and you guys just pretty much shoot the shit and have a great time, you know?
Yeah, well, Jerome, I've definitely enjoyed doing the show with you, and I wish your family and you happy holidays, and I'm sure we'll be talking within the week, but nonetheless, I wanted to say it on the air, and happy holidays to all our listeners as well. That's important to mention as well.
Yes, because the NGSC West Coast Recess can't go without these guys. So everyone listening, thank you. We love you. And hey, don't be a stranger here. And speaking of shows here, man, you got to check my boy out, Josh, doing his thing over there with Shaq Krosky. And their new co-host, John Doucette. They do a pretty good show over there called The Flying Elvis Faithful. Trust me, they do the New England Patriots more justice than I could, would, or want to. But it's a great show. They're smart guys. They really know their stuff. So if you're a Patriot fan or you just want to learn more about football in general, hey, give them a listen over there on the NGSC Tuesday nights at 8 p.m. Eastern. It's a pretty great show here. And you already know that on Wednesday nights you can find me and Josh here doing our thing on the NGSC West Coast Recess, 11 p.m. Eastern every Wednesday night. And we always have ourselves a great time. We do a great show. You see us, we just pretty much ran through an hour just pretty much being ourselves. It's a great time. Matt Dulcan helps you make money, and we run through the West as only we can. And Jim and I, Friday night, usually that's our thing we do here with the NGSC Black Hole Brigade, pretty much laying down all that Raider science for you. With Friday being Christmas here, we won't be on Friday night, but look for us Saturday evening at 9:30 p.m. Eastern. We're going to have our Raider thing. We'll have our tribute to Chuck Wood, Charles Woodson here, and we'll pretty much break down what went wrong in that Green Bay-Oakland game. And hopefully we'll have something good to talk about as far as San Diego and Oakland goes there. So pretty much tune in for that Saturday night. It's going to be a great show. And me and Jim look forward to talking Raiders and put on a good show for you. So for my co-host, Josh Matson here, I'm Jerome Butler, a.k.a. Raider Rome, a.k.a. my little brother's big brother. I mean, you know the whole spiel there. And this has been the NGSC West Coast Recess, so there's only one thing left to say. Good night, Merry Christmas, go Raiders. Good night, Josh, and good night, America. Raider Rome, go home.
Merry Christmas.